In Our City for Good says something about the common and greater good, that as those who serve at Haven, along with the San Antonio faith community at large, we're not leaving. We're staying. What a beautiful vision for us today, for those who have gone before us, and for future generations. We've all heard the African proverb that it takes a village to raise a child. But as those given this humble honor to serve in this way and in this time and in this place within the midst of our city, aren't we much more than that? Especially in San Antonio, given our historical and faith community legacy, aren't we actually living and sharing in a sacred trust, a holy and human encircling of relationships connected to the greater circle of common good? What brought Haven for Hope into being is a long legacy and growing circle of spirit and faith and people. From a humble church organist who carried shoes in his trunk just in case he might see someone shoeless, to faith communities uniting to create precursors, places like Sam Ministries, pastors who stood and advocated for potties downtown, to a good Catholic of a city councilwoman who held leadership feet to the fire, all puzzled together, along with city leaders and philanthropists and nonprofits and faithful people, you and me, us and we, all into a golden ripple of compassionate circles, caring for the least among us, treating each other the way we wish to be treated ourselves. The process has not always been perfect. Sometimes it's been messy, but there's lots of cleanup when it comes to understanding Haven's purpose at large. And today, even more growth is needed in the understanding within San Antonio's faith community at large. Ancient, yet new spiritual practices make up the spiritual services at Haven. Prayer wheels us forward. About 300 skilled volunteers provide 99% of the direct spiritual care on campus. Volunteers from throughout the San Antonio faith community, perhaps from yours, keeps the work spinning. Healing and holistic transformation is our mutual prayer for those who land inside Haven's gates. No matter one's faith tradition, lack of shelter, and sustainable resources are the qualifiers for entry. Meeting people as the unique and beautiful creations they are, community resources are cocooned together on site. Everything about homelessness is traumatic. Research reveals that housing someone first increases a person's or family's potential to move out of the trauma onto healing and into wholeness. It's a sustainable community circle of life. We all share much more in common than differences. Eyes reach into soul and reflect yearnings for relationship, a safe world without fear, a life that has some say in itself, a place of belonging and love, home. Folks at Haven enter at different spiritual stages, some connected to a spiritual home, others injured by religion in need of healing, some curious and looking. Haven provides spiritual care for those staying on site, while also striving toward connecting persons to an off-site faith community. Spiritual care on site is an impressionistic integration of healing, growth, wellness. Mentors called soul friends companion one-to-one by presence, listening, possible prayer. Classes include forms of meditation, writing lives as sacred story, 12 steps in sacred text, arts, dance, more. Teams of volunteers come to lead prayer, worship, movies of hope, studies, fellowship, all ways into relationship. Relationships that lead into places of prayer and worship beyond Haven's gates. Relationships that potentially lead someone from Haven into their future faith and spiritual home. And the mystery really begins as faith communities encircle a person or family with support, sometimes with their move-in, sometimes with educational or employment help, sometimes with clothing and household items, all times with care and relationship. At Haven, We call it faith homing. Because we all know home as a global concept is more than housing. Home where the world feels safer, filled with less fear, warmed with courage and actions of heart. Home, a place of belonging, surrounded by community of caring resources. As biblical prophets tell us till this day, your ancient ruins shall be rebuilt. You shall raise up the foundations of many generations. You shall be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of streets to live in. As resourced and hope-filled repairers and restorers, now is our time. No matter our faith tradition or spiritual expression, it is our time to remember the hand we play in this place. San Antonio is the place we've been planted together as people of hope. Working in our unique Haven way, working hand in hand with the at-large faith community, San Antonio is a veritable at-large kaleidoscope of care, compassion, community. Real, long-term, and instantaneous support begins when someone previously without shelter in their life connects with the faith community. Perhaps congregations like yours. We are more together than we are apart. May the seeds of our mutual lives be blessed into the hands of our common unity and the greatest of good. May this be so. May our mutual journey of hope be blessed. Amen.